Hi everyone, my name is Christina Prella.
And my name is Janet Carr. Welcome to another episode of the Women in 3D Printing podcast. In spirit of the upcoming TIPE 3D Printing virtual conference taking place January 27 to 28th next year, 2021, we are going to be dedicating the first series to the TIPE. So you might be wondering, what is the TIPE? TIPE represents the tracks for the conference: technology, industry, people, and economics.
And as your hosts, we are so excited to share our conversations with these trailblazing women. The all-female speaker lineup we have prepared for this conference is made up of women that have carved their careers in additive manufacturing and have inspired all of us. We can't wait to introduce them to you so you can get to know them before the conference.
So we invite you to hit that subscribe button, follow us on LinkedIn, and get to know the stories of these awe-inspiring women before the event.
We'd also like to give a shout out to our platinum sponsors, HP, Trumpf, Matter Hackers, GE Additive, and Dassault for making all of this even possible.
Thank you so much, Anne Debauge, Digital Director of Packaging and Development Department at L'Oreal, for joining us on the TIPE Series podcast of Women in 3D Printing. Really excited to have you here to share with us your story so that as we gear towards the TIPE conference in January 27 to 28, 2021, everyone will get to know who you are and what you bring to the table.
Hello, Janet.
So one thing we're dying to learn more about is what launched your career in additive manufacturing? What got you started?
Yes, in fact, I come from a family of makers, and since a long time I bought for my kids 3D printer. And naturally, I advise to the company to move through the big printer on subcontracting through this more FDM technology in a house. And that's the beginning of the story. And 3 years ago, we began in the company a big digital transformation program in our operation department. And through all this acceleration of the topic was divided by two our development of product. Naturally, this technology was the one who give us a lot of benefits. So in this situation, and through all the technology we need to deploy, I have the job of digital transformation for all of the team who develop the product.
Wow, that's really impressive. You're now in this role of digital transformation and leading the front on the consumer market through L'Oreal. You know, there must be a lot of challenges that you and your organization must overcome to really achieve this goal. What are some challenges you can actually share so that we can learn from your experience?
The big challenge is to find a good alignment between the technology, which is slower than the actual traditional way of production. The choice of material are more tight, and we really are more engaged about finding the good material. Sharing Beauty Visual, it's our big program inside the company to have more sustainable material, recyclable, and here today on the technology, the choice is limited.
What kind of material are you looking for all those that are in the material business looking to, work and collaborate with L'Oreal, that they should align towards so that they could hopefully enable the common goal?
Today, our watch is global. We meet all the contributors, all leaders on the technology, the material maker, technology maker, the manufacturer, to find and to define and take part of this research and acceleration on the machine to have quickly the answer of what we're looking at. It's really massive industrial production of the component with recyclable material.
How far are we from really developing sustainable recycled material programs? Are we already there, or do we still have a couple of years of work to validate whether or not this is possible at scale?
Today on the printer, 3D printer, as FTM, and we have a large choice of material, but the way and the result of the finishing of these pieces are not so aligned with the needs of our consumers. So the printer will give a good finishing, don't have this large choice like PP and PET, which is the two material already on the recycling circuit already on the market.
With challenges and all the successes, you must have also experienced some failures that you've learned from. Are there some stories you can share that we could better understand, how we could overcome some typical failures that take place from your experience?
I was really, really amazed by the speed of development of each of the company and players on the market. There are players like very expert on chemical side, so they are the best result about flexibility of the product, but the automatization is not there. Some of them work a lot on automatization to have mass production, but the finishing and the material catalog are quite cut. And some of them work on only software, like on the MIT at Boston, and we see then the result like hair, thin, and the definition is amazing just by working on the software aspect. So we see then if you are more open mind with all the global knowledge around the same table, we will go much further than the best one, but with only one pillar expertise. Actually, we see a number of innovation. It's amazing. Every month we have a new material, new technology. And I think it's key on this world to have the head in the shoulder, as we said in French, to really focus on what we are looking at, the end user, and avoid to be dissipate everywhere and assemble a good like a Lego brick to build this mountain and have the challenge where we want to go. So for us, it's offer a new experience and be closer to the consumer needs on the market.
Being close to the consumer, what are some of the ways you're doing it today? Do you survey them? Is it data analytics? How can we all become better at listening to our customers?
We come from a time where we have massive industrial way of working. Now the topic is really a better understanding, a better production close to our consumer, and so it's a smaller batch of fabrication, a batch of one, which is the topic today. Because in clothes, for example, each girl have got something different. So for beauty, we need to be really aligned with the specificity of each consumer.
Speaking of, collaboration and bringing many folks together to, figure out how we can overcome the next obstacle to get to that one batch high quality finish for delighting the end customer. What are some of the future developments you're excited about in additive manufacturing?
I'm excited to offer in a really point of sales, closer and more personalized about the ergonomy, about the after the diagnostic of consumers. So the global routine from the diagnostic of what you need, the environment, the way of the life, and the routine of each day, the place to work, the life, the country, the temperature, and offer a beauty aligned with this specific life and unique life of each girl.
So really tailoring solutions designed for each person based off of their needs. You mentioned that in our last conversation, we were talking last week, how L'Oreal's also have been involved in biomedical printing, 3D printing of skin technology, so you can also test on the body. What is the future there that we should look forward to in the cosmetic industry?
So in fact, yes, today we have a team focused on bioprinting. and they were creating a focus on the sample to evaluate our cream and anti-wrinkage cream to have exactly the same shape and physical property than the mature skin. For the future, we can have imagine the beauty of the future with all this new material as bioprinting. It's bio ink. We have a soluble new ingredient and a lot of opportunity to be more close than the result everybody love to have.
That's definitely exciting. Every human is made different. So if we're able to customize and personalize not only the packaging, but the ingredients.
Like empowering and augmented beauty, the way and the choice of material and technology are huge and huge. So we can now go through the augmented beauty and customize.
Out of curiosity, future developments in dyeing technology or painting, finishing, what are some interesting areas are going on there for additive? As a brand for L'Oreal, dye to match is super important. And it seems like additive is only starting to build up that capability.
We have all seen since 1 year a new player about color and 3D print in levitation through the clear material, very fish like that. So we see an improvement on color effect, quite disruptive compared to the last 3 years. So we guess that the color is at a really early stage, but the color effect and the color way of building and the trend today on the market, it's the larger and larger, like lipstick line. 30 years ago, we launched 20 colors. Now it's more than 80 colors. So the experience on color explodes. And the technology will help to follow this trend.
And how about texturizing tool? Because you mentioned connecting the digital side, algorithms and advancements there with the real world. Anything you can comment on that note?
Until now, we have only constraints about the industrial way of building the packaging. And we was focused on demolding constraints. To have these metal parts, we need to be removable, so impossible to imitate the nature, like flowers, like bamboo. And this shape of the nature now are completely available for the technology, and now we can open our mind. It's as we said, in the blue ocean are very large, and the nature imitation, like biomimetism, really possible. And so all the industry world need to be reinvented. And it's funny because now we have the technology and the breaking point in the mindset of designer, which are so focused on the past. Then we need to have a time to train and to come back on the nature and forget all these old constraints. So now it's a human transformation. Actually, we need to be accelerate because the freedom is here and the global way of working to be aligned.
And that's really powerful. How does one change the way they think? As a director, leading the charge and paving the way, how do you retrain the way people think?
There was different job on the company about the designer. Their job is already to be out of the box. So it's a way of working to be outside, inspiration, following trends. So this is a continuous way of working. For other technical designer, which is quite since 20 years, they're used to design in one way. It's a time outside of the box and to be in contact on other kind of pieces, components, to touch. And it's important to use the 5 senses to have the global immersion on the technology. And it's why a digital period today, We need to complete digital, but the feeling with when you use the five sense, the learnings, it's more double the efficiency. And here, when you see the texture possible with the 3D print, the effect and the shape, really the movement to come back at the office and design in one piece something is 5 pieces before. It's quite easier but you need to go out of the box of your office and take your time outside in contact of the another world.
Let's switch gears a little bit. I think that's amazing, and I'm sure a lot of people now really want to follow in your footsteps. And for those that do, what are 3 tips you can give them for, going into additive manufacturing, being a leader in, a Fortune company, and how to build up the skill sets to make real change?
The 3 tips I advise, it's one, have a good listen in the employees, because we have everybody have got talent in the company, sometimes shine, and to detect the people in movement ready to discover and test and spend time to test new way of working, curious. And really, when you detect those talents, it's take a lot of time to help them and empower them to connect with information, other company, visit some place with a good inspiration, and those people will create the first proof of concept. And with this time, the third, so first detection, second take time, and the third, a large communication to all the employees about the result of this co-working together.
Thank you so much, Anne, for sharing the 3 tips about how to get into additive manufacturing and how you can influence folks invested in pursuing a career in additive manufacturing, and also sharing all the challenges, failures, and future developments we should all look forward to. Is there any last words you want to share as we close this podcast?
Thank you for this invitation, and invite you everybody to surf this wave of technology on 3D print. So take a part of this new challenge. Thank you.
Thanks again for joining us at the Women in 3D Printing podcast TIPE Series. If you like the content, please hit that subscribe button, follow us on LinkedIn or other social media platforms.
We'd also like to give a shout out to our platinum sponsors, HP, Trump, GE Additive, Matter Hackers, and Dassault for making all of this even possible. So mark your calendars for January 27th to 28th next year in 2021.
And visit us at type3dprinting.com to save your seat. And feel free to drop us a line if you have any questions or feedback.